Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA player props video. Our picks have been kind of going 1-1 the last couple of days, which has been pretty annoying since we came out of the All-Star break pretty hot. So I would love to get back on track here. Probably not on tomorrow's slate because the games are not that great to bet on, but hopefully here soon. I do have a couple best bets for you in tomorrow's game, but first we got to recap those plays from the past two videos. All right, guys, so first recapping Monday. We went one and got hooked by Leonie Fibich on the other one. Paige Bueckers over 17.5 points. Obviously, that dropped to 16.5. Everybody was hating on Paige for some reason. And I told you to smash it because I knew she would smash it. So she got us 20 points there. And then Leonie Fibich got us 9. She hooked us by the 1 point. So I hate it when I get hooked. But it means the read was there, probably. And then our leans, Sabrina Ionescu was an added play in the pinned comment. I gave you under 33.5 PRA for her, and she only had 26. And then Jonquel Jones over 34 fantasy score. She only had 29.4. So if that had been, like, if they hadn't got weirdly blown out by the Wings, I think she easily would have gotten there without Stewie on the court. And then in today's picks, we went 3-2 on the best bets. So unfortunately, a losing day today. But I almost can't be mad at the players for missing them. We had, first of all, Angel Reese over 13.5 points. That was an added play in the pinned comment. She had 22. I just didn't think the Mystics were going to be able to shut her down, and obviously was right about that. And then Chelsea Gray over 8.5 points. She only had 5. She shot 1 for 5. So, I mean, she just didn't take any shots. Asia had over 30 points, and her teammate Jackie Young had a triple-double. So Chelsea Gray was more than happy to just pass the ball to them and let them continue to score. They were running so hot. So I'm not mad about Chelsea Gray for that one because it was just her teammates were playing really, really well. It wasn't that she was playing poorly. You know, if she had gotten up another 3 or 4 shots like she normally would, then she probably would have gotten to this line. And then Sony Citron over 4.5 rebounds. She only had 2. I'm not mad at her again because she's just dropped like 28 points. So she just decided to score instead. So I'm not mad about that one. The only one I am kind of upset about is Allisha Gray over 3.5 assists. She should have gotten there. She only had 2. We did talk about Jordan Canada over 5.5 assists as well, and she had 8. So I should have gone with Jordan Canada as the best bet, which some of you guys in the comments did. So that is why we always have the discussion in the comments, you guys, because I'm not always right, obviously, as you can see, about everything. And I love to talk things out with you guys. And you told me to go with Canada, and I had already put the bet in on Allisha Gray. And I didn't want to double down on Canada as well. So I missed out on that one. And then our leans, Breanna Jones over 10.5 points. We can definitely blame her for this one. Also, we can blame her for Allisha Gray missing her assist prop because Allisha Gray passed the ball to Breanna Jones inside probably like 10 times, and Breanna Jones could not make the shot. So if she had just made one more shot, a couple more shots, Allisha Gray would have gone over her assist line, and Breanna Jones would have gone over her points line as well. She shot 4 for 13, so that one was definitely her fault. And then I added a lean for Jackie Young over 1.5 3-pointers. She had 2, so she made it scary for me, but did end up cashing. So that brings our total WNBA run for the season up to 74, 50, and 2, which is 59.68%. My heart is broken because we have dropped below that 60% mark, which I like to be at, you know, as a minimum. So we're going to have to try and pull ourselves back up over that line. But still, anything above like 54, 55 is okay, but not good. I'd rather be over 60, which we started the season like close to 70%. So I would love to just pull us back up there if possible. The games tomorrow I don't love, so I'll tell you what I'm looking at, and then we can go from there. So for now, I only have 2 best bets. So if you want to get in the mix for the cash prize, just comment hashtag in the mix with any comment, and you'll be entered into that cash giveaway. The first one here is going to be Napheesa Collier over 3.5 assists. She's over in 6 of 10 games that had a 10-point margin of victory. So she's not, she plays better on the road. The Lynx in general play better on the road. And it's not that they're playing any better. It's just that they limit points at home. So on the road, those games have higher totals. And so, you know, there's just more overs to be hit. But when the games are close, whether they're at home or on the road, Napheesa Collier is usually doing some assisting. And so she should be doing that here. I don't think that the Liberty, I know they just embarrassed themselves in Texas against the Wings, but I think they pick up the pieces here, and I'm not saying they win the game, but I think they can score 60 points on the Lynx and force the Lynx to score at least 80, which should push Napheesa Collier over this 3.5 assist mark into 4. And then I have a correlated play that kind of goes with that, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So my other best bet is just going to be Aaliyah Boston over that same line, 3.5 assists. She's playing at home. She is over 71% of the time without Caitlin Clark, but she's only over 50% of the time without Caitlin at home, and they are playing at home. So I don't know. I like the bet. I think they should be able to get these assists against the Mercury, but I also think the Mercury are going to play them tough and probably win this game. I just didn't like any of the other props on any of the other players, so we're going back to the Aaliyah Boston well. This is also something that I like to do, if I haven't mentioned. If you've been hitting bets on a player and they continue to give you the same line, I just keep usually betting it until it misses, because I've already hit it so many times that if I miss it once, then it's not going to be a big deal. So unless the line moves, I'm probably going to keep betting on this. And then I have a couple leans for you, and I want to talk about it because I've been seeing a couple of YouTubers already posting some early videos giving out Jonquel Jones under 9.5 rebounds. I think that's a mistake. I don't think you should be betting on that. And I'll tell you why. I don't think you necessarily need to bet the over either, but it might just be a stay away. But I am betting a double-double for Jonquel Jones tomorrow. And so let's talk about it. So before leaving for injury, she was over in 6 of 9 games. Since returning, she's only over in 1 of 4 games, but she's been close to that line. She did have 7 against the Wings, which isn't showing up on this graph for some reason. They just haven't put that game into the stats yet. But anyway, now she is going up against a team whose leading rebounder is Napheesa Collier, who usually gets around 8 or so rebounds. And she's only 6'1". Jonquel Jones is like 6'6". So yeah, I think that Jonquel Jones is going to be able to bring down rebounds over Napheesa Collier a lot of the time, especially on the defensive end, but maybe she can even get some offensive rebounds. I'm more worried actually about the points hitting on this prop, but she has had a good history of scoring a lot of points against the Lynx in general. Now, most of her games, like historically, have been played against the Lynx with Breanna Stewart in the lineup, and in those games, either Jonquel Jones or Breanna Stewart has at least 10 rebounds in every single game against the Lynx last year, including all of the playoff games, except for one game where Breanna Stewart had 9 and Jonquel Jones had 9. So someone's getting 10 rebounds on this team. It's going to be Jonquel Jones since Breanna Stewart's not there. So yeah, I think she has a really good chance to hit that. Breanna Stewart also went way over this rebounds line against this team last year several times. I think one time she had 18. She had like 12 and 13 a couple of times. So those rebounds are going to go to somebody, and I think it's going to be Jonquel Jones. I don't really understand any other reason why they wouldn't. Here's another thing that I want to talk about. I haven't talked about this much, but with EV betting, which is a very popular thing these days, you have a long-term edge over Vegas, not really an edge over them. They're giving you an edge because they're saying, hey, we're favoring this bet to go over or under. And so we're taking those like favored bets, and long-term, we're going to be profitable. If you bet a lot of volume, you're going to make some profit on that. But typically, like a lot of times when the line moves, you want to follow that line movement because Vegas is moving the line for a reason. It's not just because everybody's betting on it. They're moving the line because they think that over is going to hit. So if they think the over is going to hit, the over could hit by even one more. So this line should be 8.5, but they've moved it to 9.5, not because she played so poorly against the Wings. That would be a reason to move it down. But instead, Vegas has moved the line up because they know that this is a good matchup for rebounds for Jonquel Jones. So yeah, I'm taking the double-double for a higher payout. And it's just going to be a lean, so it's just going to be in one slip. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that one. You could just stay away from it probably, but I don't think I would be betting the under 9.5 rebounds if I were you. And then my last lean here, one book, Boom Fantasy, is giving us Sophie Cunningham under 4.5 rebounds. It's 3.5 everywhere else. So I'm going to take it under the 4.5. We went over this last time that we took it. She's only over in one game without Caitlin Clark. It's a reduced payout, which is the only reason why it's not a best bet. And the Mercury are a good rebounding team. So there's no reason why Sophie should be able to get over this line against them when she hasn't been able to do it against anyone except the Lynx, who are one of the worst rebounding teams. By the way, this is another good case for why Jonquil Jones and probably Sabrina are going to go over their rebounds. Sabrina's rebound line is 4.5, and I also really like that, and it might be a lean for me as well. I'm not going to put it on here just yet, but I want the other picks to come out. We haven't seen any picks for Natasha Cloud yet. I want to look at those. So before I make any final decisions. So let's just review that really quick. I have the two best bets for you: Aaliyah Boston over 3.5 assists, Napheesa Collier over 3.5 assists. And then, I didn't tell you why the correlation was there. So Napheesa Collier dribbles into the paint, and then if she can't score over Jonquil Jones because she's 6'6" and standing there in the paint, then she's going to pass it out and let Alana Smith or Kayla McBride shoot a three, or let Courtney shoot from the mid-range. So yeah, I think that having Jonquil down there to get those rebounds is going to force Napheesa Collier to actually assist the ball more out to the three-point line. But we'll see how that goes. So so let's do that recap again. So the best bets are Aaliyah Boston over 3.5 assists, Napheesa Collier over 3.5 assists, and then I have the two leans for you: Sophie Cunningham under 4.5 rebounds. That's only available on Boom Fantasy that I was able to see. And then Jonquil Jones for a double-double for an extra payout. So those are risky. The Jonquil Jones one is riskier, so I'm not telling you to go out and bet it. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, and I could be totally wrong. So thank you guys for being here every single day to support me. I love doing this for you guys. I can't wait for football to start. I'm not going to lie. My effort in the WNBA might drop a little bit as football starts to pick up. I've already made quite a few bets for week 1, and now I'm starting to look at week 2 bets already. So if you like football content, go and watch those other videos and let me know what you think about those as well. Thanks.